making it happen. As promised, you will have 360-degree VFX or a computer fire. One way or the other, it is happening this time. I apologize for anyone who tuned in for the false starts over the last 24 to 48 hours. But, you know, the HP Pavilion DM4 laptop, it's a great laptop. It was released in 2010, though, and it's now 2017. And the technology we are working with is pretty much 2020 ready. So, yeah, trying to make things happen that are about just 10 years too advanced for this computer. I mean, it's a laptop. It was never really supposed to be doing this sort of thing. It was pretty intense. It's a good development machine. It's really good. Done me a lot of solid work for quite a while. But let me get the music back. You probably can't even hear me. Bam. The music is gonna. There we go. In fact, let's switch over now. I think we can try this one. This is going to be pushing it. Ready? We ready? Oh, we're running 84% already. Okay. There we go. There's some live VFX. Running 81% of my CPU. I mean, it's an i5, but it's, one of the first generation when they first started naming them that way, I think, back then. So 2.3 gigahertz, pushing it to its limits. The 6 gigs of RAM, that does help. Needs a faster read-write speed, really. I got to get into some sort of solid state. And obviously, going to have a lot better luck having a desktop tower set up, trying to do this sort of thing. But for now, we're working with what we have, and I think it's okay. Yeah, it's yelling at me now. It's starting to yell. Let's see if we can switch over to something a little bit less intensive. Let's see if the outside show helps us. Let's try that. That might be a little bit better since we're not. It's that theta. The 360 shot is compiled in real time on the CPU here. So that's what's taking up, a significant percentage, in addition to OBS, obviously, using a large percentage as well to put together the 1280 by 720 frames. But I've been working with some optimization techniques, and it's been an ongoing battle. I thought I had some things worked out. I ran a pretty solid test on, I guess it would have been Thursday night. Right? Was that where? No, so Wednesday night. It was Wednesday night, late night. I ran a test privately, and nobody could see that one. And it did okay. The encoder kept up. I was pretty happy with how it ran. Hello, Lump. Your butt's on the internet there, buddy. I don't know how you feel about that, but you should be aware. We're live. You know how I feel about this, though. Let's not be on the computer, bud. Oh, you're a good Lump. Oh, there you go. Here, you want to sit here? Is that what you want? No? You don't? Okay. You can go down. But you can't stand up there with computers. He's a good Lump. So yeah, live in 360 degrees. Obviously, I'm coming to you from the home office studio / living room, whatever you want to call it. I am not out by the Intercoastal Waterway where that shot is taken. But let me pull up something here and see if this brings it. We're gonna try it. We're gonna try. Let's go full screen over here. All right. Ooh, it is. That is taking everything it's got. It's still. You see, there's a little edge there. What's going on? Couldn't quite handle full screen there. That's funny. So yeah, I think the onboard GPU right now is what we're gonna. Oh, let me see. I have the task manager up. I can take a look. See what I'm maxing out. Running 78, 79%. usage just on OBS, so 98% overall. The Rico, see, it's only running about 2% when it's not in use, so that's fine. Probably Chrome. They updated Chrome today. I saw there was an update that's supposed to make Chrome a little bit less CPU intensive. Right now, even it's only running 1.7, not a lot. Let's see. There we go. It got full screen just in time to not be full screen. Try it again. All right. Looking at some Andrew Benson Friday Afternoon Hero design. Cool. Nice. Just because I happened to click on that. Well, you can see. I don't know if you can tell. Yeah, it says we're still running 30 frames per second, but I'm definitely kind of maxing out the capabilities here, trying to work with it. Well, let's see if we can settle in there. Bring up the same preview over there. In fact, I'll drop that shot. Take all of it down on the next scene, just so no unnecessary frames being rendered. Media could not be played. You don't say. Okay. Well, let's try to get over to my Twitter, at least for now. But it does look like it's struggling. It is struggling. You see it? Should see it struggling. Hasn't completely knocked it out, but I think Chrome probably wants more than what's available, is what's happening right now. Chrome's like, I need a little bit more to run. Do you mind? And OBS is just like, yeah, we got work to do here. We got frames to render. Sorry. Busy encoding. Yeah, there it is. I'll wait it out. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. Waited it out. Didn't take long. Just needed us to give it a chance. Alright, there we go. So now we can go over. Let's just go directly to the following page. Let's go to something that's going to have a little bit less multimedia on it. 72% CPU usage. Still says, the encoder says we're pushing 30 frames per second still. So that is 1280 by 720, 30 frames per second, equirectangular projections, giving you that 360 live with the overlay. And with my monitor there, you can see a little bit of graphics there. You're looking at, we have 4 layers on that screen. But yeah, it's okay. Holding steady at 6,000K, but that's all right. That's fine. We got it. I mean, you know, it's really struggling. This particular Pavilion DM4 came with the HDMI out. I think it's probably one of the earlier models to have that sort of thing running on it. So I do have it. I switched over. That's a 1080p monitor, but I've switched it down to the 720p to sort of match the output resolution and not add additional unnecessary scaling, just to reduce the impact on OBS. Really, just finding all of the different ways to optimize performance and get the most out of the available processing power. I think we're doing okay. So we got the recent follows here. Creative Video VFX designer showing us some support there. Let's check out the Creative VFX production studio. Let's give that a look just to bring it up. Why not, right? Appreciate the retweet earlier. I do notice those things. I like that. I appreciate people interacting, supporting what I'm doing here. It helps. Viewership helps. Interaction helps. Just I'm legitimately making an effort to be gainfully employed in the 360-degree VFX field that kind of exists now, maybe? I don't know. It's definitely possible. It's for the people who are working in it. What I really want to see is the head mounted display, and I'll get a visual help for you. Maybe a visual aid will assist in really understanding what I want here, right? So I've got this, and if you've loaded up, or if you saw the feed earlier, or if you've loaded up uh, if you've worked in 360 video yourself, you know that right now we're working with, I use equirectangular, equiangular cube maps are going to become more the standard now, I think, because YouTube is moving in that direction. So we'll see. But right now the capture that I have is equirectangular, so that's what we're working with, and that's where all the VFX go. But I spend so many hours staring at this sort of projection. Equirectangular projection is most familiar if you've seen a map. It kind of creates a rectangle out of a sphere's texture. And so at the top, you have more pixels than needed representing the space. It's just distorted and spread. And, the computer just kind of wraps it around a sphere. And that's if you're watching us on YouTube, you're actually able to move around and look. And if you're not, if you're watching in the app, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're like, what is this weird skewed thing? Why does the text look like that, right? So that's the equirectangulars. The equiangular cube map projection has a more exact pixel to pixel ratio in the projection. So, it's still, we're working within current rectangular frames to transmit, over the same live lines that we do our regular live streams. We're doing 360 stuff. So it's kind of the processing's happening at the other end. You have to, the application has to process it. So I think it would be really cool, though, if we had a head-mounted display. I mean, you could even use just like an existing type of Daydream or setup. Maybe we'll build this app, right? And we get a 360 camera mounted here. We put it right there. And because I've spent all these hours looking at these equirectangular projections, I feel like I can see that. Like I understand how it works. I just look at it and I see all the way around. It's a full view. And so you could just put that right on there, and suddenly we're evolving ourselves. We can evolve ourselves and have a full 360 degree view through, just walk around and see all around. Maybe there aren't a lot of practical applications in my day-to-day life. Sure, but there are certainly, defense type, security type applications to that, sort of RoboCop view would be helpful, I would think, right? I don't know. I just think it'd be neat. It's just something that I never really could understand or conceptualize until I'd spent hours upon hours upon hours of my life looking at equirectangular projections. So I guess maybe cartographers could have envisioned this, but yeah, I think that'd be really cool hardware, right? Just a little head-mounted display, 360 camera on it, and suddenly I'm just looking at a rectangle, but I'm seeing a full sphere view. I don't know. Just a thought. I'm not a hardware engineer, software engineer, so I'll leave that one up to some others. We are running about 75% CPU usage for OBS and 30 frames per second, and it still says we're doing good. Chrome is really far behind. It takes a second to respond, but it's there. It's working. That's my Twitter. You should be seeing in the, I call it the medium screen. If you watched anything last night with the Xbox One broadcast, you would have seen the big screen, which is a little bit larger. This is about a third of the full available pixel rate. I think I was running my little 2D, the regular shot, the webcam shot of me there. That's about, what do we figure that to be, a quarter? It's about a quarter of the full frame. And so I'm running about a third of the frame for that big screen. Well, it's pretty significant. If you're using a cardboard, you only have a 90-degree field of view. So you're going to kind of have to do this. If you're watching, like when I was broadcasting tanks, I had that running. It's a little bit much. You can't really take in the whole frame, but it's really just, it's like you're sitting out at the water and you got a giant big screen in front of you. If you've used, VR, big screen VR type apps, I'm sure you're familiar with that. Or even, I'm pretty sure the PlayStation VR has a similar sort of movie screen viewer. But, we can kind of look around our Twitters. Let me give the home a try again. Take a look. So yeah, with a little bit better hardware setup, obviously we'd be able to do some more here. But just kind of familiarizing, what the techniques are, just figuring out what it takes, how the layers work, how we make it possible to really utilize 360-degree content now. Some content is best expressed in 360 degrees. Sorry, I digressed so much. I was talking about earlier. The articles were saying people prefer 360-degree content to actual interactive VR content right now in polls, which is completely counterintuitive, makes no sense. And I think that maybe we're misinterpreting these statistics. We're talking about like mobile VR experiences, and honestly, if I'm going to be completely frank, I really think that maybe when they do the surveys, people are only comfortable divulging like, oh yeah, I only really use my headset for video and video related content, but they're not giving specifics as to what that means. I think maybe there's a large audience out there in the gear early adopters who are there for one very specific reason, and it's more of a 360 video than a true interactive immersive. That being said, I think we are not seeing a division based more on content than on actual technology, because immersive VR for all content is definitely going to be a preferred format. Fully immersive, it's just not there yet. Maybe you've played some video games and you're just like, oh well, this is a silly sort of Galaga type shooter. I played one. It was really good. I think it was an independent, just more of a demo, but it was like a Pong. It was a 3D sort of space Pong thing. That was a good one. That was on the iOS. That was running cardboard on iOS. So that was pretty cool. So maybe people's only experiences with VR games have been these sort of demo type, low level interaction. Just what the current mobile, not built for VR yet mobile, is capable of. So we really haven't seen it. We haven't seen the true immersive, interactive mobile VR game landscape, and we haven't seen much of it develop in the tethered PC world either. So that being said, though, right now, 360-degree video is very popular, and I think that we're going to see that get adopted because, like I was saying, the current video infrastructure works for this sort of video. It's a huge advantage. There's amazing advantage. When we're talking about a full-on paradigm shift, when we're talking about all of these developers are now working in this, fully spatially interactive medium, we have to have a way to share that with people who don't yet have it. We have to entice them to want to get involved. And 360-degree video is going to be a really transitional technology, I think, that is going to bring that immersive content to a more accessible, already in your pocket level of technology. And that's right now. That's happening this year in 2017, started in 2016 if you watch the Ben Live second season, really. But 2017, definitely. You're not going to get a lot of argument. 2017, we're going to see real just maturity come from this industry, come from the virtual reality, mixed reality, augmented reality, X reality, non-analog reality, right? The digital reality landscape, whatever we want to call it. So yeah, my CPU is running. We're ticking between about 75 and 80% for OBS, but we're holding 30 frames per second. Doesn't leave a lot for Chrome to work with, but as you can see, it's trying to do it. And we got a little live video over there, and I'm sure that's stalling things out. That advertisement. Let's see if I can scroll down a bit, get that guy off screen. So yeah, we're just looking through the Twitter feed here. Gonna look for some cool stuff. If you've been following along with the Ben Live second season, then you'll remember back, I don't know, it's probably sometime late summer or early fall of last year. I went through, yeah, no, it was definitely that season, right? I went through my Twitter feed and I really just cleaned out, got rid of a lot of just negativity and, just divisiveness, I guess we can call it. Just got rid of all of that sort of, mental clutter. It really felt like it had become a distraction for me. So I went through and I got rid of all of that, and I turned Twitter into more of my VR emerging technology informational hub. And best decision, best decision I've made. I mean, we're only, maybe we're talking about 6 months ago or so, and just such a more positive environment. I'm looking at 3D artists all over, all sorts of good stuff coming, virtual reality developers, just kind of tooling around, looking at funny little animations and just really cool stuff, like really cool, neat stuff happening out there. Uh, that's what I occupy my time with now, instead of just nonsense that is beyond any reason, rational help. Yeah. So I think it's a good decision, and I've really taken an interest in the 360-degree video side of it and the VFX, and I think that I'm doing a lot of exploration. You can see live, we're doing some stuff here that maybe other people haven't utilized these techniques yet, and I think that's cool. I think that's relevant, right? That's something that I would like to do more of, and I'd like to be involved in a capacity that allows me to reach many different brands, many different companies, many different products. I think that for me to really find a place that I'm truly happy would be to be involved with a lot of different emerging technology, because there's so much going on. One thing, my reading list, right? So I've amassed a reading list because of this paying attention to virtual reality media. And specifically, and I'll plug it right here, Robert Scoble. I watch Robert Scoble's live feed, and he goes and he talks to just cutting edge, the bleeding edge, whatever you want to call it, current VR developers, technology developers, interaction developers, just all the cool people doing the cool stuff. And they talk about these sort of high-end cognitive interaction, very human-computer interface sort of conversations. And a lot of times it's difficult to discuss these things and without getting too deep into jargon, which I'm sure I already have for a lot of people. I've already lost to you long before you even tuned in. They answer questions with books. They say, well, have you read this? Have you read that? Right? And that is just an amazing concept for me. I guess maybe it just shows my naivete or whatever the case may be. But it's really cool, this idea that, this story, this story describes this future that I imagine. Have you read this story? And so now, I've read really cool books. So I've read, obviously, the Fourth Transformation by Robert Scoble and Shel Israel. I'll give him a plug again. I always like to plug that one because that really kicked it off. But after that, we've got Stephen Lavell's textbook, Virtual Reality, right? I got that PDF going. Rainbow's End. I don't even know. I should be able to say the authors on that one, right? But I got that one on the Kindle. And that's a really cool, like, near future sci-fi. I haven't read a lot of fiction lately. I'm into a lot of nonfiction, nerdy stuff, right? But this is kind of this near future technology and really explores a lot of the questions and the conversations that we are going to have as technologists, as futurists, as software engineers, hardware engineers, developers, whatever capacity you work with technology. You're going to have to address this. The fourth transformation is here. It's upon us. The augmented reality, the big umbrella, augmenting reality to the full virtual degree, some mixed reality in between, or we're already augmenting it. We already the little the Pokemon Go sensation, like that little thing, that little huge deal that happened. That's the first taste of it. That's just using the old interface and the old hardware to interact with the new concept. And it shows up all over. You can see it on the internet. If you go into the Apple store, you look at this sort of augmented reality cityscape future that they're starting to tease, and so we're definitely expecting them to make a large entrance into that. And so, see, OBS is yelling at me at the moment. Let me see if it's probably I got that video going up there. See, let me hide that. Let's see if that'll help me out. Live video preview, I think, was what was doing us in. Too many moving frames. Too many pixels moving. Too many pixels moving. Oh, look at the kitty. This is the best part about the internet. It's one of my favorite things about the internet is that it's just really embraced cats. I think that's so cool. Uh, you know, you guys follow that giraffe? Or see the pregnant giraffe, then the pregnant human who did the reenactment. Oh, it was amazing. Like amazing internet. Just the culture, internet culture is such a really cool thing. Like it's a really unique thing that we're a part of here. And cats are awesome. Look at that. Oh, I like that. I like the library kitty. That's so good. See, fortunately, I remember when the internet used to move at this speed. So, operating on a severely strained CPU, it just brings me back to my initial beginnings, my internet beginnings. Adjust this table a little bit there. Are we all right? Is that okay? I bet that sounds great on the microphone, huh? So yeah, VFX, 360-degree VFX. I think that our augmented reality future, our fourth transformation is upon us, and all of the business-to-business sort of ancillary businesses associated with a mature industry are about to be springing up out of the woodwork. I mean, they already are. They're just going to become very prominent and heavily invested in. Yeah, this is happening. There's some VFX talk on there. Yeah, that's an interesting question. Is VR working because it's a novelty? But when it gets ubiquitous, will it become less relevant? Healing with VR? Yeah, I mean, that is a good question. Is it just sort of new and different, and maybe trying new and different things is, more powerful than people realize or let on? Yeah. There's just a lot of potential for positive change and positive growth in industry. We really start to get an automated, machine learned, artificial intelligence sort of manufacturing process. And when things really become that future that we know we're heading toward, as we start to sort of shift our attention and shift our time as people, I think VR is really going to help us. It's really going to help us to connect in a more natural, fully immersive way globally. In the same way that video. When I first could do, I think it was blog TV, and I was, blogging with people from, God, where were they? It wasn't Korea, was it? No, Hong Kong maybe. Blogging with people on the other side of the world. Video blogging, and now of course I was like, oh yeah, obviously, but when this stuff was new, it was just like, wow, this is amazing, this is real time, like I'm seeing that it is light outside and it is dark here, and I'm talking to someone on the other side of the planet. That's amazing. It's really cool, and sort of broadened the horizons of the world. The internet culture and the international connectivity and sharing of ideas that have become possible with this new form of technology have really laid the groundwork for just an amazing VR future. Internet culture is cool. Internet culture is a good place to be. And yeah, we got some rough edges. Yeah, and there are some spots that need work. And same is certainly said of all cultural segments, right? You know, but overall, I think it's going to be really cool to be able to get into the internet. If you remember Chappelle's show, Chappelle did the sort of walk around, and he had the joke with the seedy advertisers and things like that. But really, I mean that's I think what we want. Isn't that what people want? The internet that we can just walk around in, become a part of. Things like A-Frame and React VR can make that possible. And that technology is right now. That is now. WebVR is happening. But it's more than that. I mean, that's the simplistic browser-based version of it. It's the connectivity. It's there. We already have the application infrastructure is interconnected now. So technology is a communication tool first and foremost, and each new paradigm, each new transformation that we go through, the same goals remain. The human experience and the human drives remain essentially unaltered. It's how we address them and how we are able to work with that changes. And so it's a really cool time to be around. I don't know. I think it's really neat that I've got this. It's running. It's not ideal. I'm sure if I bring up the 360 shot, we can bring things to a screeching halt. But let me get past that video real quick. I know the videos knock us out. I'd really like to see those VFX too. Oh, that's a cool one. I've seen that one. That's pretty neat. If you're familiar with the Black Mirror, there's your roaches for you. Oh man, that's a good one. I think I hear myself in the hallway. So far, running again 80%, 75 to 80% of the CPU going to OBS, but it's happening. It's working. If you sorry, it seems simple. It's like, well, yeah, you got a live stream set up. Sure, right. That's not hard. Yeah, well, okay. Yeah, we had the live stream going for quite a while now. The last 48 hours, I've been fighting with this thing. And of course, it's yelling at me for encoding now. Let me jump back to the home. See if maybe having fewer active, less of a DOM over there. All right. Yeah, so if you've been following along for the last 48 hours, if you've seen the attempts and the false starts, then you probably haven't. I haven't seen them. Fortunately, I've been okay that people haven't checked those out too much because it's not been working. It's not been working. I did okay on the test one that I did privately, and as soon as I switched over to go to the public, I think I adjusted the encoder settings when I should have left them exactly how they were, and things are just, I also went in, I redid things, I touched up animations, it's a little bit different setup, and it's not having the same success, but right now we're doing okay. Right now it's all right. That's cool. He yells at me again. Encoding overloaded. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'm trying. Let's see. Did it ever go back to... No, it didn't go to the top for us, did it? Yeah, I'll say. I like those guys. I'm keeping that around for a while. Look at those things. I remember seeing that. Oh man, that is old. That is an old mouse. Mice. Those are some old mice. Oh, wow. I mean, back when X and Y coordinate was a big deal. And now it's just, well, yeah, of course, we got Z too. 6 degrees of freedom. Listen to Robert Scoble. 6 degrees of freedom. That's what people want. We'll see that. I'm really interested in, is it the light field? The light field video or something. That's going to be neat when you can move around within the 360 scene and it'll be as though you're seeing it. That's my computer will not be able to do that. I'm not going to try that. That's not happening. I'm actually pretty amazed that the 360 live video is happening. That's pretty cool. I think that's just a testament to how the technology works. In fact, let's go back to that. I think let's see. What do we have here? I will go to I think that should work. Maybe. All right, let's transition to this scene over here. Get back into the 360 studio. I know it's probably going to catch us up to us really quickly, so I got to go and knock out the browser. I'll take down the browser over here if it'll give me a chance. Go, go. There we go. Okay, bye-bye browser. Yeah, I know. You're working really hard. I see ya. Still running 80%, 30 frames per second. Okay. Am I moving? Yeah, I'm moving. Alright. Doesn't like, oh, 82%. Yeah, see, I figured it'd start pushing it with the 360 with the theta going. Yeah, as you can see, if you look at the 2D shot there, you can see, Ben over here. It's going to be a little bit delayed. Hey, you. Talking to you. Is he not even moving at all? He's not even moving at all. What is that guy doing? The theta can't even do it. Let's go look at the Alright. Do that. Let's see if that works. And try to bring it back now. Okay. And there. Maybe? It gave me a fresh image. Oh man. Does not want to bring that over. Oh, wait, radar moved. It's trying to catch up. Let me switch over to this mode. Maybe that'll help us. And we'll knock him out. Alright. In fact, let's just leave him off for a second and see if we can let the CPU catch back up. How about that? See if we can get it back to that steady 75 to 80% that it was running. Nah, it keeps wanting to push 82. That's not like. Well, you'll still hear me, but I'm going to disappear for a moment. There we go. Now we've got two static layers. Should be able to handle that. CPU is running 66%. That's the lowest I've seen it since the broadcast started. So that's okay. Let's give it just a little bit of rest there. Let it do that for just a minute. Just enjoy the view of the St. Augustine Intracoastal Waterway. Intracoastal Waterway? Yeah. Oh, we're down under 60%. That's nice. That's good. Yeah, let's just sit back, enjoy that view, and contemplate the near future VR. I think I was talking about my reading list. I talked about The Fourth Transformation by Robert Scoble and Shel Israel. I didn't look up. It's like, I don't want to say the wrong thing. Let me pull it up. I think Werner Vinge. Yeah, I knew it was something that had V's in it, and I wasn't going to be able to pronounce. I'm sure I'm not pronouncing correctly. Werner Vinge, but Rainbow's End. Really good, near future technology in fiction. Another one, really good, has to do more with sort of brain-computer interfacing. And that is Michio Kaku's The Future of the Mind. That was actually recommended by Will Mason of Upload VR. That's really good. If you're familiar with Michio Kaku, he's a acclaimed theoretical physicist. But he goes around, and I'm going to try the 360 shot again. Let's see if we can get it running. So he goes around and he talks to all of these neuroscientists and people who are working on brain-computer interfacing, people who are actively trying to create the technology that will make it possible for computers to read our thoughts, to respond to thought-based input. That is a lot closer than I think I realized before reading this book, before most people realize, and that's cool. That's a really good thing. I mean, that makes me happy as a nerd. I'm really excited. Makes me want to put my poor CPU through the paces again and bring back the 2D shot. Let's see. Do I have no? I got rid of any logos or anything. That's fine. If you forget who you're watching, just look down. It's benlive.tv. We don't need those animations running. We don't need any more layers. At Ben McNulty. Follow me on Twitter if you want to be aware of when these things are happening. If the stream does fail, if the technology and the technical difficulties overcome us, and it looks like they very well might because we're at 84%. So let me drop the 2D shot. Let me see if that'll be enough to help us get rid of one layer there. That should help us. So you're going to see there's a little bit of a delay on the frames there, a little bit slow, but the audio should keep pace with the 30 frames per second. So, enjoy the mixed reality, my living room outside by the water combo. So, it's nice. So, anyway, the Future of the Mind, Michio Kaku, really good stuff. We're going to be able to basically use telepathy in VR as an input device eventually. This is stuff that we're not trying to raise the expectations right now. Clearly, this input technology doesn't exist yet, but it's in the sort of experimental, developmental university stage right now. And this stuff is going to happen. This is not some fantastical sci-fi novel. This is current events. Brain-computer interfacing is real technology that's going to be really just changing the way we think about computers and change the way we think in general. I know that Oz was having a conversation on the live feed on the Research VRcast. They were doing a live stream. They're talking about this, the privacy aspects of it. Really, we're starting to get to a point where even on a local device, do you really want to have that level of knowledge? And he brought up the point that Oz and I think are of the same belief in this one. Is like, It makes a more relevant ad experience. I'm going to be inundated with advertisements pretty much regardless of what I do. And I do buy things sometimes. So I would like for the advertisements to be relevant to the interests that I have, the things that I want to buy. If I'm getting advertisements for 360-degree content, I'm probably going to watch it. So it, it would be a level of helpful that I don't know we're ready for, you know? Having the computer that can truly deliver what you want without you even knowing. Really, I don't know if it's going to know you better than you, but it's just really interesting. It's where in the brain do these ideas truly lie, and where do our thoughts and our interests originate? So yeah, cool stuff. Future of the Mind, definitely one of the good ones. I'm done with that one already. I read that. That was one of the first ones on the reading list. Right now, I'm in Rainbow's End, and I have Virtual Reality, the textbook, open and going right now. But Fourth Transformation, that was a really good one. So yeah, pretty much, the strategy is just pay attention to VR media and what people are talking about. If that's books or, resources, as far as, if you're not familiar with Upload VR, you should be. I mentioned the co-founder, Will Mason earlier, and entrepreneur resident Robert Scoble in Oz. These are all Upload people. They've got quite the brain trust over there. Danny Bittman's over there with them doing art. Just an amazing team. I can't even begin to mention all of the different writers, but they know they're out there. The Joe and David, and too many people over there. Too many good people over there, and they just get more and more. And I think that's that's the well positioned company. If you're really curious about this stuff, and you're really, you're like me, and you're a nerd, you're a futurist, a technologist, and we've watched this technology really mature. We've watched computers and personal computers and mobile computers. I mean, how personal is a computer become that it lives in our pocket, right? Well, it's about to live on your face, So we've really watched computer and information technology evolve and mature, and it's amazing to be here on this next step. And so if you're curious like me and you want to sort of dabble in all aspects of it, the hardware and the software and the interaction and the media and the production side of it, and just all of it, it's a whole it's very freeing for an artist, but it's also a large burden. Now you don't have the forgiveness that you had in the 2D limited view world. You could trust that your user base would be watching what you expected them to watch, and now they can just kind of wander. Now their eyes can follow, and yeah, like I'm talking about this brain computer interface and stuff, we'll be able to like bring things back in, and we'll be able to work with that. And we're seeing a lot with it was Fove, that's who Oz was talking to actually about the privacy issues. We're seeing a lot of that with the eye tracking. That's what brought on the issue of like, do you really want something to know what you're looking at? And it'll know, and it'll be able to respond accordingly eventually. That's eventually where things are going. And so that'll be kind of cool, but it's sort of scary, and I don't know. It's just it's interesting. Isn't that what life is, right? It's kind of cool, but sort of scary. So we'll see where it goes, right? I want to have a much larger part in it. I really do. There have been sort of different experiences that I've had that have added up to really position my skill set well to work within this new both narrative art and technological medium. So I think it's good fit for my interests and my skills. And there are other media companies out there, and my options are open, sure. But really, at this point, it's just I don't want to end up. I mean, I don't know. I would be perfectly happy, and I would get a lot of enjoyment out of working on any particular project through. But for me, a broader scope project is what really appeals to me long term. The ability to look at this sort of title and talk about this title, and then next week I'm looking at and talking about something different, and that's cool. And even what I'm doing now with the experimental 360-degree VFX stuff, like I can do that for any brand and be really content doing that. Anybody needs this stuff. I think that any technology and future thinking, if you really want to reach out to early adopters, any brand that is interested in reaching early adopters would be well served to have a 360-degree live stream with some cool visual effects. And the technology bar is not as high as people think it is. That's the reality. I'm doing this on a laptop that was released in 2010. That is 7 years ago. That is an old laptop, right? This was June, so it's not quite 7 years ago, I think. I've only had it for, I think 5 years or so. It was on sale at Staples, so it already, it was new, but it had a couple years of technology, depreciation under its belt. And that was when I first got it, and it's been running great. It was my college laptop, and still run, through my first professional, salaried development job. It's great. I love my HP Pavilion DM4. I think HP makes a fine product. I was really sad when they were like, we just want to make printers. I'm like, what? I'm like, your computers are awesome. Don't do that. I'm really happy with it. Once I got past that, that sort of compact mentality of proprietary hardware and all that nonsense. Once I got out of that, and really, learned to do things the right way, right? I don't know. I really like their system. I like it. I'm happy with it. It's just the sad reality is the future has arrived, and this computer is just too dated for what I really want to do. So I'm doing everything I can with it. I'm not blaming the tools by any means, but there's definitely a ceiling. There's definitely a limitation to what's going to be possible on this particular machine. And hopefully we'll surpass that in the near future. I'd really like to get something in like the $2,400 range. That's what I want. I want to get just a beast desktop. I know that might just be selfish, but the fact of the matter is, if those machines exist, and they do, then someone like me should probably be operating one on a regular basis. Somebody who is just using a computer a lot and doing really cool, experimental, cutting-edge stuff, working with new game engines, working with 3D art software, and live broadcasting, and doing stuff that takes a lot of computing power, that would really benefit from that computing power. Like I don't know. I had a whole plan mapped out. The studio was going to be amazing, but it's time to shift gears. Ben Live, second season, same as the first season. Is it you? Will you be the one who comes through and says, all right, Ben, we will sponsor your existence. Your food, water, and shelter bill will be covered by us. Here's a neat computer. Do what you can do with this. And do that 360 thing you do. That's kind of cool. I like that. I sound like a child, right? It sounds like the silliest sort of, I just want to make 360 art for a living. Why can't I do that? Why can't I do that? That makes sense. Because my computer's not very good. Well, you see me beating my head against that obstacle. I will determinedly find a way to make the resources that I have available capable of doing what I need to do. And when I get my hands on the resources that exist, and when I have the technology that already exists that I know would really make a lot of this a lot easier for me, it's not just about being easier. It's about doing more with it. The techniques that I've had to apply just to get this stream running in this way, when applied to higher quality content, will get that 90 frames per second. We will be able to push that 4K 90 frames per second with top level technology and just critical optimization and streamlining, just trial and error, figuring it out. We can do it. The technology exists today. It's cool stuff. We can do it live. Do it live. That's the neat bit. Do it live. You can do the recorded stuff. Like anybody can do the recorded. At this point, Premiere has the tools built in, and pre-recorded stuff is going to be really neat. But doing it live is just that extra step. The live set. There's something about the live set that is, it's honest, it's authentic, it's unforgiving, but it's real, And that's why it's benlive.tv. Sometimes I can do some pre-recorded stuff, and a lot of the content that I'm working with right now, especially, can only be shown at higher qualities when it's pre-recorded, just because of those limitations that I exhaustively go on about. But what's live, when we're dealing with this teleportation, this transportation of your consciousness that you experience, if you've put on the headset, if you've, even just the Google Cardboard, or I'm sure the PSVR has the YouTube 360, they have a 110 degree field of view in that one, I believe, so that's better than your 90 degrees in your Cardboard. But if you've put it on the headset and you've watched 360 degree live streams, you are transported to this place. You are there. I know, because I do it with my own. I sit there and I switch rooms in my house. It really is. When the quality is acceptable, and this is not even, we're not dealing with good quality stuff here. This is really low end technology, and even that is just an amazing transportational, just teleportational. I don't know how to describe it, but the experiences just truly feel that you are somewhere else is just really cool. And so to do that live is the goal, like that's what we're going for. We're surpassing the physical world's the limitations. We're just breaking through, man. It's amazing. It's an amazing world that we live in. And I am doing stuff in my living room. I am experimenting with cutting edge technology, just bleeding edge, brand new technology. And I could be doing this for a living. Like, I should be doing this for a living. Why not? Like, there are not that many people who want to be beating their heads against these challenges. There are not that many people who want to just stay up long hours, just racking their brains. Never mind capable, but just willing to rack their brains over this stuff. It's just not, it's not easy yet. It's really not. It's doable. You just see it's happening, but man, this stuff's not easy yet. and so the people who want to do that, like, you really have to want to. And I'm one of those people. I really want to work on the new challenging technology. And 360 degree VFX seems like, live VFX, that is a challenge. That is a bar. That is a high bar. And I'm going for it. It's fun. It's great. Somebody's got it, right? Lots of other people are trying this stuff. I'm not the only one doing this, but it's not a large group of us. We're not in great company. It's a very difficult and stressful process. So, it's fun. Gotta want it. Gotta want to do it. I'm sure the exasperation was clear in my voice. The last 48 hours have been tiring, to say the least. And I'm at a point where it's like, I look at the work that I'm putting, I'm like, well, I can do better. I know I can do better. Of course, obviously, with more time and more effort, I will do better. But I've done a lot in the last week. I have done a lot. I've figured out a lot of sort of the compositional techniques that it's going to take to blend realities, to blend analog and virtual reality into a fully immersive 360 degree, not interactive, but according to surveys, immersive enough for the mainstream. Turn it into just that sort of experience. I don't know, man. It's been tough. It's been a fun week. It's been rough. It's stressful and it's tiring, but it's so fun. It's so cool. It's really cool. It's really cool. I don't care. I don't need validation. I know that the word cool isn't even cool anymore, but that's okay. It's the one I'm using. It's just, running 66% CPU, 30 frames per second, 70%. So we're bouncing about 72 to 66. That's not bad. That's lower than we were. I've got, let me see, how many layers am I running there? That's actually, I think those are separate. So I think we have 3, 4, 5 layers. Oh, I did combine those. Okay, so I have 5 layers, but one of them is turned off, the 2D shot. We want to give it a try? Let's give it a try. I mean, it's running better now than it was. I get the alignment's a little off there because I've, whoa, fix that up for you guys. I've moved around a bit since I've started. Okay, yeah, see now it's back up to 82%. For some reason, when I add in this chroma keyed, 720p shot, it really oh, uh-oh, looks like we lost a frame. That was the first time we lost a frame per second. That's pretty good though. Okay, that's too much. I know, I'm asking too much of it. That's alright. Let's take down the 2D shot. Sorry. Let's switch back over to studio mode. Let's go look at the, which one? Can we do, I think we'll do this guy. And we'll take out the 360, floor, social. Maybe we can do that. Let's try that and then take it out of studio mode. Okay. We're running at 82%. Hopefully it'll drop here. 83. Oh, 70. Nice. Okay. And then back to 70. Still, if we're bouncing between 70 and 80, I'll take it. We were running steady at that without losing frames earlier. So 81. See, that's what scares me. If it gets up over 80, it doesn't really have a lot left. But again, this is a 2.3 gigahertz i5 from 2010 model. But the techniques will work on newer computers. I just have to apply them, right? We'll see. I mean, that's the reality, though. The stuff that I'm trying to do here, the technology I'm trying to work with, you have to have the new stuff. It just doesn't work as well without the frustration. You can't do it without the frustration unless you have the new stuff. I mean, it's just the way it goes. But it's all right. I remember when I bought this laptop, and I looked it up online. It was on the weekly ad for the Staples, and I went down there, and it was the last one. There was a card. They had the cards in it for the ones that were on sale, and it was the last one. And I knew, I was like, this is it. This is the one. And I was still on the fence. It's like, I had looked it up. I knew it was a really good deal. It was good technology for the price. And, like I said, it was a couple of years old at that time, but that's when you really get a good deal. It's still, I think it was probably about $700 or so. It was not a cheap laptop, but as far as laptops go, it's definitely affordable. And yeah, there's somebody else that came in, and he had the ad. I saw the guy had the ad in the hand and was milling around looking for it. I was like, no. This is my computer. And I went up there and I turned the card. I had him go get just went to the register. Went straight to it. Oh, I'm buying this. This is my computer. And I'm so glad that I did. I am so glad that I pulled the trigger, because this computer has gotten me so far. Yeah. It was really close. I don't know what I would have had different, sure, but this one's really it's been a good computer. I'll get another HP given the opportunity. Haven't really looked at their desktop line. I don't know what they have in the VR capable. I've been looking more at Auroras and stuff like that. We're really starting to see some cool VR ready stuff. I'd like to get something with some dual 1080s because I'm greedy. I want it. If you're gonna do it right. It's no sense in at this point, just having dedicated graphics card is an upgrade. I'm running a onboard. I think it's the Intel HD 3000. Yeah. So it would certainly be less frustrating with better technology, but even that doesn't solve the problems. The real challenge of working in 360-degree VFX is not so much that everything takes longer because of the extra view all over. It's just kind of thinking in this way. It's being completely unbound as far as the visual space. Is you have to address this unbound visual space. This all has to be considered. See, I want to move this over. It's bothering me. Now it's going to bother me over there. I'm going to have to make it bigger. Shame. I need to improve my graphics. Sorry. See this unacceptable overhang over here. It's breaking the immersion. I'm ruining the experience for you. You can't see because I don't have the 360 shot running, but there's a fluffy cat on the couch. I don't think you'd even be able to see it with the 360 though. This area's this is the no zone. So that's part of it, right? Little setting up the studio. That was just a real fun mental experiment. You can probably tell if you're familiar with the last season. I've switched sides again. Originally, I was in the office. That was when I first started doing the broadcasts. Then moved it out to the studio, and it was on this side. It was in this corner of the living room. It's the studio, right? It was in this corner when we first started doing the broadcast. But at some point, I did a major upgrade and really rearranged things and focused on getting a quality shot. This is before I even had tripods or a remote. I had to actually put the laptop across the room and use the built-in webcam. The built-in webcam that doesn't even work anymore. That's done for. I think it has to do with the cables run through, obviously through the joint, and I think that there's something there that runs out, kind of wears out over time or something. I don't know. Started to go. It was hit or miss for a while, and if the cat would bump into the laptop screen, I would lose video. So it wasn't an ideal setup, obviously, but that worked for the time being. And then for the last year, it's been sort of a Ben Live hiatus as I've really been focusing on the menus. In fact, I can show you the menus. Do you want to see the menus? Let's see. What are we running? 78. All right. Well, it's going to be a trade-off. Okay. So you're not going to be able to see me, right? In fact, let me go back to studio mode here. Let's see. We got this, and then we need that. Alright, so I'm not even going to try... No. I'm just going to go with 2 layers. And I'm going to open up Chrome now. So forgive me if I have to hit the brakes real quick. But I'm going to open up Chrome here. I'm going to bring up the slideshow. I might not be at the right resolution. Well, it should scale. Let's see. I think it scales. Let's go to Ben Live. I can show you the menus, sampling of the menus that I've been building over the course of the last year. Well, I haven't been doing a lot of Ben Live content. What's the holdup on the second season? Well, I've been working. I was a full-time software engineer building digital menus for maybe a restaurant near you. Who knows? And... oh, I don't like that it doesn't want to do full screen correctly. That's going to be a real frustration for me. Let's see. FN, F11. Okay, now we're up and running. Then we'll come over here. Let's try it. Okay. So what you're seeing there out by the water is a slideshow. And that's available if you go to benlive.tv. It's a menu slideshow. And those are just a sampling of the cloud-hosted dynamic menus that I've built. I'm using, open web technology. I code these. And that's what I've been doing for the last year instead of doing like crazy Ben Live broadcasts. Because the original premise of Ben Live, the first season, was that, I'm underemployed and I can do cool computer stuff. Why am I a Jiffy clerk? You know, like basically that's what it is. You know, doing work out of necessity when you get out of school can be quickly become a lifestyle, and I didn't want that to be my lifestyle. So, uh, you know, I had a broadcast. I just went on the internet and was like, "Hey, internets, give me a job that is better than this because I can do more. I can do more. You know, I would like to contribute more, please." Um, and yeah, so I had an opportunity to do that in a full time capacity for the last year. I've been building menus for MenuAt, this really cool cloud hosted digital signs. Allows people to go on there, make changes, update in real time, and get some interaction. They can get animations like that one that was just showing those burgers and stuff. Those move in the real menu, you know. It's just using CSS stuff. So we were really, this idea of leveraging limited technology. I mean, this is onboard stuff. I run these menus. We run these menus on Samsung screens, the SSSPs, and so it's built-in computers, built into the screens. So it's very limited what you can do. But we find ways to get the most out of that technology, and so that's where I kind of built up this. The last year, now we got a really good platform coming. Now we got the Chrome bits. Now we're deploying the high end fancy ones. But when this was a new business that people didn't really know how it worked yet, digital menus weren't the thing that they are now, and so the technology wasn't the same. So and we'll see that. You're going to see if you're really interested in VR, then the next 2 years are going to be just earth-shattering technological developments as we start to see components that are uniquely made for the industry, developed with the intent of being used in this way, not just manufactured for a cell phone and, oh, hey, that'll work. That's a screen, Same sort of thing, iterates in all technology industries. So the digital signage industry, we've seen some pretty cool advancements in the sort of microcomputers. And the original demo for that my boss did for a One Spark technology in Jacksonville, technology sort of convention thing. The original demo was a Raspberry Pi. So, now we run on Android devices, and then we have, like I said, the Chrome bits. And, that technology, the microcomputer technology, is coming a long way. But it's microcomputers. You're going to be limited with the smaller form factor. But yeah, so those are the menus. I think that's kind of cool. Little menu slideshow there. Do I dare? Do I try? Let me bring up my app, Ben McNulty. I'm gonna bring it on one layer at a time. I'm gonna try not to bring things to a halt here. 56%. That's really not bad. 60%. See, it's really not struggling too bad. It helps that this menu is nice and sleek, sort of simple. Yeah, right. The code runs real efficiently, right? All right. There's that guy. Let's see if we can keep doing it. Hi. 69, 75. Oh, we're jumping now. 73. Okay, all right. Maybe we're stable. 79. Uh-oh. Don't do it. Don't do it. All right. We got to drop. Okay, I think we're all right. I think we're just going to hover in the 70s. Cool. I can just sit here with my menus. You look out and look at the menu slideshow. So yeah, the last year, basically Ben Live season 1, first season, because this is second season. We're still in like a 0 format here. We haven't done an official first launch on the Ben Live. So the first season, the alpha, right? It was a success. Mission accomplished, right? Yeah, got a job making menus, coding, software engineer. Hey, I'll take it, right? That's good. Real work in the work that I know how to do, the digital technology stuff that I put all that up here in the old brain hole, and got an opportunity to utilize it. So that was cool. It's a good year. I'd like to see next year do some new cool things as well. I'm dropping it. The CPU just took a hit, so I gotta take those things back down. Let's see. It spiked again on us. Sorry, but that's what it takes, Jack. I have to constantly monitor the CPU usage in order to maintain a consistent frame rate for you. Otherwise, this thing is just gonna fall apart on us. But it's running. It is real. Let me do that intro. Again, I think that was kind of cool. Let me give that a try. So I feel like I've optimized that to the point where it should run. Let's see, because it's 4 layers, but only one, 3 of them overlap with the one. Let's transition to that. And then let's switch out of studio mode. So, I mean, this would be more indicative of a real VFX application. Yeah, see, we're pushing 83. So let me get rid of one of those. So I'm gonna have to take and get rid of the big logo in the middle. So now we're running two layers over top of one. The two on the top obviously are animated, but they're separate. So that right hand side and that left hand side are separated there. And that seems to be okay. So that's running about 76%. And see, those have no overlap though. So, it's not a true 3 layers operating there. It's really more of just a one static layer with one animated layer on top. But that brings a lot of freedom. That opens up a lot of options for live 360-degree VFX. That's more layers than you're going to see a lot of broadcasts working with, certainly live broadcasts. A lot of people aren't even bothering with it on the pre-recorded stuff. You'll see, maybe some branding, maybe an intro roll that they've had created or something, but for the most part, you're not seeing the real embedded stuff, and you're certainly not seeing it done live. And that's a real asset that I bring to the table that I don't think a lot of people are offering yet. But on top of that, I'm just cool and fun and, stuff. I posted on LinkedIn earlier that, I'm at a point in my life where I can genuinely say I'm more interested in the culture of the company that I go to work for. I'm more interested in the people who I work with having the same ideals and motivations and, working with people who have similar interests and, just a positive work environment is more important to me than, any specific, I really want to work in this place and do this thing. And it's like, I want to work in 360-degree VFX, and I'm trained in sort of copywriting and writing in general, creative writing and technical writing and that sort of stuff, and software engineering, coding, programming, developing, multimedia and video, just all sorts of fun stuff, right? There's a variety of roles that I can fill, and community management. I forgot community management, growth hacking, and so there's a variety of roles that I would really. I could do well with. But for me, I would be happier doing any of those as a part of a team that I really believe in what we're all doing and that I really want to be a part of our shared success. I think that's important, And so, it would be cool to be like, well, I'd like to make a bunch of money and just write HTML in St. Augustine so I don't have to completely upset the life that I have now and change things around. I would just keep going the way I am, but that's just, I don't know. It's not where my ambitions are right now, I guess. I think that if I have to completely disrupt and change the way my day-to-day life operates, that's not necessarily a bad thing. That could be a good thing. That can be an improvement. So, maybe that's just what's going to happen. Inevitably, when you look into changing careers or advancing your career, even if it's just trying to turn a hobby into a freelance, legitimate side project, whatever it is. It's stressful and it's scary. There's anxiety and it's upheaval. It's life upheaval. Not having stability, not having financial stability in life is sort of just a state of general upheaval, and so those difficulties are going to be there. That it's inescapable that it's not easy to change. So if you're gonna go through that, which I am, I'm going through this. This is happening. I'm the sort of person who wants to have a dynamic and evolving career. I want to mature my profession and my craft as I grow older. I don't want to remain stagnant. I want to continue to grow and develop and learn new things from new people and do new things with new people and just new technology that like the things that are jobs now, 360-degree VFX artist. That is nonsense. Those are nonsense words 10 years ago. Not even, but certainly 10 years ago. They're like, what? You want to do what? So we live in just a whole new world. Like it's going to be new next year too. Like it's changing. Technology is changing really quickly, and I want to be a part of that. I want to be involved in that stuff. And whatever that might be. I'd like to work with a team of people who understands that we're going to change as people and have dynamic interests and creates the space where we can all do that, where we can all kind of grow together and do new things together. Because, that's a real opportunity to grow as a company here. Just in this current climate, this current economy, the current world, things are just, I don't know. It's been dehumanized and very monetized and commoditized. No. The human workforce has become sort of a disposable commodity in our culture, and I don't like that. I want to be a part of a company that understands the company part is not the top priority. The human part is the top priority, and that's what I'm really looking for. And there are a lot of people like that, like VR especially has just shown this really cool, forward-thinking, accepting, just experimental culture. It's early adopters. It reminds me of when Google Plus was new and people were just kind of it was the nerds flocking to a place to hang out. And now VR is like you have to be a little extra nerdy just to figure it out, just to work with it, just to understand it. You have to be a little bit extra nerdy, and so with that extra nerdy comes an extra interest in the human experience and being extra knowledgeable about the human experience, and maybe even having some empathy for the challenges and suffering of others. Things that can be foreign concepts to so many. I feel are really just the standard in this new emerging industry, and so that's a good thing. I want to be a champion for that. I want to be a part of that. I think that's that's really cool. That's just what's important to me. Maybe different people have different things that are important. Maybe for some people, the number of yachts and cars and their many garages and estates and, I don't know. Maybe you just like to Scrooge McDuck and just go doubloon swimming once in a while. But, that's your business. It's not me. It's not what I'm into. I want to play with new technology and build new art forms, new experiences. I don't know. Just do more. Checking in on the chat room here. Let's see. Probably not a lot of activity going on, huh? Man, for some reason, my local internet connection is just swamped, huh? It's weird. Weirdest thing. So yeah, Ben Live, second season, same as the first season, right? Made a major step up, really improved, my standing in life, and really, expanded my expectations as well. So now I want to continue. Want to continue living at the level and working at the level that I've become accustomed. And I think there's room for that in the VR industry. I think that there'll be room for that doing VR in a lot of industries soon. The better the transformation group does, the better all of us will be. The transformation group is Robert Scoble's attempt to work in a business-to-business capacity and let these major industries know how augmented reality is going to change the way the world works for them. And the success of their business will really help for a lot of people who want to work in this field, because it won't be sort of a niche industry anymore. It will just be a part of all industries. So, cool. Looking forward to that, right? Holding steady at 30 frames per second. Running 74% CPU usage. That's not too bad. We're looking at 3 layers active right now. But they are actually layered. We have the full background, and then obviously my video, hi, and then the social in front there. So that's 3 active layers. Runs bouncing between 70 and 80%. So that's pretty good. Pretty good performance out of the old HP. Let's see if I can play an animation here. I'm going to take a break, turn off the sound, put one of these animations on for you. I'll be back in just a few. Well, it looked like everything held steady there. This is around about 80% CPU usage, but seems okay. I think it's pretty good as far as the demo goes. Obviously, going to work on some stuff this weekend and adjust some of the graphics, see if I can get them to run a little bit more efficiently for starters. But yeah, that was good. We're at what, hour and 39 minutes, and I think I made it 15 minutes last night before the computer crashed. I think the same thing earlier. I think when I first run, I made it like 18 minutes or so. So that's pretty good. Hour and 40 minutes. But obviously, I have to sit here and babysit it, and there are certain things that can be done and cannot be done, and I think a lot of that has to do with the hardware limitation. But I'm gonna do everything I can to optimize it from a software perspective, and see what I can do. See what I can do to make it possible. But appreciate you tuning in. If you've been with us for the full 100 minutes there, certainly appreciate that. Anyone just tuning in for any duration, thank you. I'll be back with some more BenLive.tv in the not too distant future. 360 degrees of mixed reality VFX live. Doing it live. Because, why not make it as difficult as possible, right? Put on that closing animation for you now. All right? Bye.